Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Deep Roy Chaudhary and I'm just a random guy who talks about random stuff. In my previous video, I was talking about the coronavirus and saying that you should not be taking this lightly. There are different we should not think that with the onset of the summer season, this virus is going to recede away and everything is going to get back to normal. Let's not be that complacent and let's stay alert. I'm not saying that we should panic. I'm not saying we should start getting paranoid. All I'm saying is that we should stay alert. And by the way, 95 to 98% of the people that will contract this virus are going to survive. So it is uh, so the mortality rate of this disease is 2%, which is also substantial, but still it's not uh, it's not that alarming when you think of it. But again, that does not mean that you should not take precautions, like you are washing your hands and making sure that you practice social distancing. But there is another thing that I want to talk about regarding this virus. Since this new strain of virus and this disease called COVID-19 was first detected in Wuhan, in the Wuhan province of China, a lot of people online have started trolling, um, or have started making very racist comments about China as a country and about Chinese people, or and Oriental people with who have Oriental facial features in general, or people who look like they are from China, or yeah, who share, who kind of look the same. They have Oriental backgrounds. I don't, and apologies if the word, even the word Oriental is considered offensive, because with the onset of political correctness, you never know what word can get you in trouble. So yeah, so anyone from Japan, South Korea, Thailand, Burma, or Myanmar to be exact, Philippines, people from these countries are, and of course people from China are facing a lot of um, racism, and facing a lot of trolling, I think, regarding this, after this coronavirus outbreak, because people are blaming the Chinese people as a whole for this coronavirus, because according to these trolls, the Chinese people are quote unquote uncivilized, and they are eating different kinds of meat, which basically led to the onset of this outbreak. And yeah, and I literally saw a news debate on a reputed news channel, a reputed US news channel. I'm not going to take any names, but they are literally, one of the panelists over there, I was literally blaming China for this virus directly. I mean, no holds barred. They're just saying that Chinese people eat different kinds of meat, and yeah, that is what is responsible for this, and they need to be stopped. I mean, if that isn't racist, I mean, if that, oh, I don't know what is. Now, some people might say, what is wrong with trying to criticize someone's cuisine? There's a slight difference between criticizing someone's cuisine and outright um, making racist comments and making, trolling an entire culture, or let's say mocking an entire culture or insulting an entire culture because of their different cuisine. Look, from the perspective of a vegan, even eating meat would be considered gross and would be considered immoral. So it is kind of a matter of perspective. I basically want to be vegan. Again, I have always had difficulties becoming a vegan because I just love fish, I have to say. So yeah, so I'm not perfect, but yeah, I would consider becoming vegan to be a little bit more moral. Of course, yeah. I mean, um, even in the cultivation of crops, millions of animals die because huge, hectares of forests are cleared for the sake of making, for the sake of farming, and for the sake of getting more farmland for creating, for cultivating more and more crops for a ever increasing population. So yeah, even veganism isn't always environmentally friendly all the time. But with that being said, I would consider, I would feel better about myself if I became a vegan. But I, of all people, am not going to start judging uh, people or making racist comments about an entire culture because just because they eat different kinds of meat, just because they eat dog meat. I think there are some Chinese people who also eat cat meat. Bats are also a part of their diet. So yeah, I mean, what is gross from someone else's perspective, what might be just something normal from their perspective of someone else. So uh, I mean, if we are going to, you know, if we are going to make mean comments about an entire culture just because of the diet, then remember that someone might also make mean comments, might also make racist comments about your culture, about your cuisine, you know. So diet is a matter of perspective. Let us not blame an entire culture for a disease, because this coronavirus, some other kind of virus might have evolved um, somewhere else. Then who would we have blamed if this different kind of virus would have had arisen, or had come into existence in some other part of the world. For example, in India, which has the greatest percentage of, or the highest percentage of vegetarians in this world. And if some different kind of virus had come into existence in India, then should we be making racist comments about Indians as a culture because they have um, a different diet, or or for some other reason? No, I don't think that we should be judging an entire culture just because a certain kind of strain of the virus happened to come into existence in a specific country. I mean, yeah, making racist comments about the Chinese, or about any culture for that matter, is not going to solve this problem. So can we? I would request everyone to stop trolling the Chinese people as a whole, and people with Oriental features uh, as a whole, for this coronavirus. That would be nice, because in at this point, the last thing we need is to evoke racial tensions within this situation. The world is already in a stage of lockdown, and we don't need to complicate things by evoking racial tensions in within this atmosphere. So stay safe, goodbye, and God bless you. And yeah, we'll meet you in the next video. Goodbye.